Hey everyone, welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Ashley Mova, and this is the daily show where we give you all of the latest news from the world of movies, plus some insight into what it all means. Joining us as always is AMC Movie News Editor-in-Chief, John Campea.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the show coming to you live from the Stream.tv studios here in Hollywood, California. We are so glad you decided to make us a part of your day.
Also here, AMC Movie News Production Manager, Dennis Zen.
Hey guys, I'm glad to be back on the table.
Surviving the
Yes.
the earthquake.
Yes.
As you did. We had an earthquake here the other day. Hey guys, listen, I want to let you guys know about something that we are starting tomorrow. I'm very excited about it. I think this is going to be fun. You know, to commemorate the opening of Captain America, the Winter Soldier, which I've seen a couple times already. I love this movie. And to coincide with the big popular thing of March Madness, we are starting a March Movie Madness superhero comic book movies tournament. That's right, we are conducting a tournament to let you guys decide which is the best superhero comic book movie of all time. And what we've done is we've taken the top 32 comic book superhero movies, we've broken them into two brackets. And then what we're going to do is each day announce certain matchups. You guys are going to vote on the winners of each matchup. The winners will advance, the losers will be eliminated. So now I'm going to introduce you to the brackets. First of all, we have what we are calling the Nolan bracket. And as you can see here, we've got the Nolan bracket coming up here. We've named it the Nolan bracket in honor of the director of our #1 seed in the Nolan bracket is The Dark Knight. And its first round matchup will be the number 16 seed, Iron Man 3. Now, we are going to reveal tomorrow all of the seeds and all of the matchups. I'm just giving you guys an announcement. But now let's take a look at the second bracket, which is the Whedon bracket. And the #1 seed in the Whedon bracket is, of course, Avengers, and it will be going against the number 2 seed, or the number 16 seed, I should say, Iron Man 2. And like the Nolan bracket, tomorrow we will reveal all the films and all the matchups, and we'll give you guys the links where you can go and vote on the winners of each matchup, and we'll see who advances. We're going to be doing this over the course of the next week, I guess, until we come down to the winner of the Nolan bracket, the winner of the Whedon bracket, and they'll go head-to-head, and you guys will determine the best superhero comic book film of all time. Very excited about this, so start getting ready to put your brackets together. Now, as you can look in the sidebar, there is one major story missing from this sidebar here that just broke literally minutes ago. Dennis, what film more than any other on AMC Movie Talk have we begged, pleaded, complained, moaned about, saying this sequel needs to happen?
The Incredibles 2.
That would be The Incredibles. Head honcho over at Disney, Bob Iger, has just made the announcement that The Incredibles 2 is coming. He held it during a meeting of shareholders this morning in Portland, Oregon, I believe, and he announced. Now, not a lot of details come out other than to say that also a Cars 3 movie is coming, and the world together in one unified voice said, who cares? But The Incredibles 2 is coming. Bob Iger confirmed it. They are going to be doing it. And, you know, this is one of those situations where, you know, quite often when you mention a sequel of any kind, somebody will go, oh, there's no originality left, or say, oh, we don't need a sequel to that. I swear, if anybody comes up to me and starts moaning about, oh, The Incredibles doesn't need a sequel, I will smack you in the mouth. I will straight up smack you. I probably won't do that, but I'll want to. In my head, I will be smacking you across your stupid mouth, because this is a movie we all want. This is out of any Pixar film, maybe even more so than Toy Story 2. I mean, Toy Story 2 is a perfect movie, great follow-up, but if I had just watched Toy Story and just watched The Incredibles and said, which one of these really needs a sequel and was really set up for a sequel and is perfectly laid out for great storytelling and sequel, it's Incredibles 2. I'm so excited about this. I'm going to withdraw a little bit for a second here. Dennis, you just heard this news like I did. Your reaction to Incredibles 2?
I'm super excited as well because it's one of the best Pixar films. I mean, Pixar makes, you know, mostly gold. I'm not going to say 100% gold, but mostly films that are really, really good to great. And Incredibles is on the higher end of that great list. And so, and like you said, they did leave it open for a sequel. Unlike with Toy Story 1, it kind of wraps up. You don't have to see a sequel, even though the sequels were really, really good. This one leaves it open for more, you know, more adventures and stuff. Like, yeah, Cars 3, no one wanted Cars 2. So why are they making a 3? I guess because, it makes money and they sell a lot of merchandise. And I think also at that meeting, another thing that was interesting is that Bob Iger, who's the head of Disney, was asked about Star Wars.
Yes.
And he said,
yes.
I've only seen concept art and it's amazing. Actually, I don't think he said I only saw, but he said I can only comment on the concept art. It's amazing. If I say any more, I'll get in trouble. And this is the head of Disney.
Who's gonna?
It's the head of Disney. I'm gonna get in trouble. So I thought that was hilarious.
And and he also said about the new Star Wars film in that same meeting that they are beginning shooting in May, and he says the main story follows 3 young Jedi. And some familiar faces. And I wonder who the familiar faces are. And we've known for a while it's going to be starting shooting here pretty eminently. But to me, the news, if we didn't know about Star Wars 7 already, obviously that would be the story. But the news here is Incredibles 2. So excited.
But also,
so
they're bringing Brad Bird back. They said that he's working on the script right now.
See, the report I read had mentioned the Brad Bird thing.
I read the Brad Bird
I
thing.
assumed Brad Bird would be there, but I'm
so
really
that's
glad
another
that
reason to be excited.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to hand it off to someone else.
I mean, I trust Pixar.
Exactly.
Like, if they hand it off to Andrew Stanton, fine, I'm cool. If they hand it off to one of their other really talented directors, I'm cool. But it is extra nice knowing that the original guy, Brad Bird, will be back to do the sequel. That's pretty cool stuff. All right, let's move on to our first regularly scheduled story today, Ashley.
Fox Studios has released our first look at the upcoming Peanuts movie that features its 2 most well-known characters, Charlie Brown and Snoopy. Peanuts is currently set to hit AMC theaters on November 6, 2015. John, what do you think of this new Peanuts image?
Maybe it's exaggerating to say I wanted to weep with joy, because not only has this image come out, just shortly before we started the show, the first teaser trailer has come out for it. And this is a still image from the teaser trailer that dropped this morning. I'm sure you can jump on YouTube and find it. Just look up Charlie Brown, Peanuts, teaser trailer, whatever. I think it is perfect. I think it's absolutely perfect. The style is completely faithful to the original Schultz style. It's got a really cool, interesting blend of 3D CGI with some, you can tell, is hand-drawn stuff as well. I think it's a great amalgamation of faithfulness to the classic with updated technology. The voices sound great. The movements look perfect. If I were to envision a Charlie Brown modern incarnation in my head, this is what it would have looked like. And this is a true teaser. It's not a trailer. Some studios put out trailers that are 2.5 minutes long, show a whole bunch of stuff, but they call it a teaser. This is a teaser. It just shows us the characters, gives us a sense of what the tone will be like, a sense of what the animation is going to be like. I thought it was brilliant. Dennis, you just watched it for the first time as well. Your thoughts about the new Charlie Brown trailer?
I think the key word that you mentioned was faithful. It's very faithful to the original comic strip and the cartoons, even though it's 3D animated, which I think some people are complaining about. But it does have a kind of a 2D hand-drawn feel to it. Just kind of like, when you watch the Lego movie, even though it was 3D animated, they made it look like stop motion.
Yeah.
And that's how this one feels. And I like the teaser trailer. It brings back memories. And also, you have Charles Schultz's son. He's producing it.
Yeah.
And they have his grandson writing it. And so I think they're not going to steer away from anything like too crazy. Like, he's not going to run on a surfboard or go on a surfboard with sunglasses and going cowabunga or something like that.
Yeah, I don't want to see what a lot of old classic properties made into modern animated stuff. I don't want to see what those films have done, which is take modern pop culture. I don't want to see Snoopy dancing to a Drake song.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Peppermint Patty breaking out singing, something by Katy Perry. I don't want to see. I want to see Peanuts.
Yes.
And this looks like they're going to do that. Once again, it's really early to know for sure, but I think it gives us reasons to be optimistic. All right, what's next?
Speaking of movies opening in 2015, Arnold Schwarzenegger was recently asked about his upcoming film Terminator Genesis and said the following: Terminator is going to have the exact same feel. The way it reads, it has the same feel of Terminator 2. It's big, there's hardcore action, and it has some really great visual effects in there, but not over the top. It's not a Thor type of movie, even though it's the same director. It has good special effects, but just enough to say, wow, where did that come from? How did they do that? Terminator Genesis opens in AMC theaters on July 1st, 2015. Dennis, what do you think of Arnold's comments?
I appreciate Arnold's enthusiasm, but I do think he's overselling it a little bit. Because, I mean, I really love the first two Terminator films. I love the television show, Sarah Connor Chronicles, and I really like what Alan Taylor did with Game of Thrones and Thor 2. The cast is great. Arnold coming back is great. But let's be honest. What's great about the first two Terminator movies? It was James Cameron. It was his flavor, his directorial style. And so I don't think it's something you can just replicate. I mean, I know Arnold's like, oh, it's got a similar feel. I've heard that before about other franchises, about other sequels. So I'm going to take that with a grain of salt, and Arnold's in it, so obviously he's biased. I am really looking forward to it. I just don't know if he's maybe just trying to be a little bit too enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, I mean, let's say Arnold, if he is going to continue to try to revitalize his career, he needs a hit. Because while I like the Last Stand a lot, and I think you did too.
Yeah, I like it.
I was really surprised by how much I liked The Last Stand and how great he fit the old man action hero mold. He slid into it well. I thought it was great, but it bombed. You know, unfortunately, it deserved better because I thought it was quite fun. But he needs a hit, because then he did that one with Stallone. It was called The Tomb, and then they changed the name of the film to Breakout or The Escape Plan. Escape Plan, that was it. And that bombed. Even though, actually, it's not a bad little movie. He needs this thing to be hit, and you're right. When I read this comment, you nailed it. It feels like he's overselling it. Like if he had just said, I loved what they showed me, I'm excited to move forward with this, I would feel more enthusiastic about that. But he'd go, it's just like the best movie of the franchise. It's gonna make you go, wow. It's gonna make you, it does seem a little like overselling it. But the one reason I'm maintaining hope in this film is because another thing you mentioned, Taylor. I think he's done great work on Game of Thrones. I thought he did a really good job stepping into Kenneth Branagh's shoes and directing Thor 2 because of his involvement. You're right. It's not James Cameron. But I think Taylor is a really nice fit. And I think this could turn out to be something pretty good. The potential's there, but you're right. I think Arnold's overselling it a little bit. All right, folks, we reached that part of the show called Buy or Sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Ashley's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down. And then Dennis and I are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Ashley, what do we got?
A new poster for the Jason Segel / Cameron Diaz film Sex Tape has just hit the web. The film stars the duo as a married couple who decide to spice things up by filming themselves performing every position in The Joy of Sex, only to have their private video get out. Sex Tape is set to hit AMC theaters on July 25th. John, buy or sell this new Sex Tape poster?
Gonna sell it. While I am looking forward to the movie, I like Jason Segel. Just put him in anything, I'm on board, I'll watch it. He's just that kind of performer for me. Cameron Diaz is a little bit hit and miss, but she's hit more times than miss for me. And I like the concept. I read this weird article the other day that says 1 in 3 couples have made sex videos of themselves at some point. So there is a high relatability thing about this. And think about this, if you and your husband, your wife, or your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever, had done something like that, and then finding out it gets leaked. Somebody got their hands on it. I think the potential is really funny, but you know what I've said about a lot of posters before is I like when a poster can get in a single piece, a single frame, a single piece of art, the spirit of the film, really what's going on in one static shot. This doesn't do it for me. This looks like a corny 80s kind of poster for me, not a lot of thought or effort. It's like, okay, Cameron Diaz is in her underwear, so no, while I'm looking forward to the movie, I don't dig the poster. What do you think?
I sell it as well. It is, though, in their defense, a tough poster to put together for the concept, Sex Tape, because you can't really show
sex tape.
Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't really do anything. It looks kind of generic. They're just trying to block up the letters, and I'm also looking forward to it. Jake Kasdan is directing it, who did Walk Hard, was it the Dewey Cox,
Dewey Cox story.
He also did directed episodes of Freaks and Geeks, which I think is a very underrated television comedy series back in the early 2000s. I think that started the career of Jason Segel, James Franco, Seth Rogen, I think a few other people.
Oh, and it made the director of 40-Year-Old Virgin. Why am I forgetting?
Judd Apatow.
It started the Judd Apatow empire.
Yeah.
I will say this though, I do like the tagline on the poster. A movie about a movie they don't want you to see. It's a cute tagline, but overall I gotta sell the poster. All right, what's next?
The first trailer for the upcoming Fox film, The Maze Runner, has just hit the web. The story follows a boy named Thomas who wakes up in a strange place called the Glade with no memory aside from his first name. The Maze Runner opens in AMC theaters on September 19th. Dennis, buy or sell this first trailer for The Maze Runner?
Surprisingly, I buy it. I mean, when I read the synopsis, I was like, oh, this sounds generic. It doesn't sound that interesting. There's no big stars in it or anyone that I really recognize. And then I watched the trailer. It didn't blow me away or anything, but I liked the look and the feel of it, and it intrigued me enough to say, hey, I think I'll check it out when it comes out.
You know what? I'm shocked. We're in agreement on this. I actually kind of like the trailer too. The thing that really intrigues me about it is Will Poulter. Will kind of caught us all by surprise when he was in We're the Millers last year. He's the son in We're the Millers. And he kind of stole that movie. I mean, he was brilliant in it. And then he looks a little bit badass in this trailer. So you're seeing two different sides to him. And I'm a sucker for these movies that start with someone wakes up, you have no idea who you are or how you got to where you are. And there are a number of movies that do that, and I'm always stuck. The first Bourne movie was like that, right? And it just kind of hooks you right away, gets you into the mystery, and you're right. I like the feel of it. The look was kind of cool. When I first read the synopsis, I was like, yeah, this sounds like a throwaway one. But yeah, I watched it and was like, hey, I'm curious to see this one. All right, what's next?
Mad Men and Community star Alison Brie has joined the cast of Warner Bros. Pictures' upcoming comedy Get Hard, starring Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart. Get Hard follows a rich bank manager, Ferrell, who is wrongfully convicted and sentenced to time in a maximum security prison. To prepare himself for his incarceration, Ferrell's character hires the man who washes his car, Hart, to toughen him up in his final 30 days of freedom. Brie will play Ferrell's character's fiancé. John, buy or sell Alison Brie joining Get Hard?
I buy this because, first of all, I've been looking forward to the movie. She's very good in Community. I'm not a big Community fan, but I like her in it. She was good in Mad Men. She did a great job as the voice of Unikitty in the Lego movie. And just the concept of this movie still has me excited. I'm looking forward to seeing Will Ferrell, who will probably play more of the straight man kind of comedy that he did with Tough Guys. Well, no, the other guys. With the other guys, whereas Mark Wahlberg was the more wilder and crazier, and Ferrell did the straight man comedy. When he does that, like his Alex Trebek stuff on Saturday Night Live, he can be really good, and I'm sure Hart will be the more wilder and funny. I'm really curious to see them play off the show. I think the synopsis, the premise sounds really funny. I think she's a nice addition, so for me, it's a buy.
I buy it as well. Alison Brie, I'm also not... I'm not a diehard. Not that I don't like Community. I'm just not a diehard Community fan.
Like a lot of people are. Yeah.
Yeah, I watch a few episodes here and there. Mad Men, another series that everyone loves, won a bunch of Emmys for Best Drama. Didn't really get into it, but she was good on a more dramatic role. So I like the addition, and yeah, Unikitty, the voice of Unikitty, and I'm looking forward to this film.
All right, folks, listen, we've reached that part of the show for mailbag. But look, before we get into the mailbag questions, I want to let you know we do this show live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And for those of you who are watching us live, if you'd like to tweet in some live questions right now, you can. Just tweet them to us at AMC Movie News, and Ashley will pick out a few tweets a little bit later. But we're going to do the mailbag questions first. Listen, if you ever have a comment or a question you'd like us to address on the show, you can email us anytime, 24/7, at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Every day we pull out a couple questions to ask on air. Right now, Ashley's got a few of them pulled out. So, Ashley, what do we have?
Erica Barth writes, hi AMC crew, I was on Twitter the other day and saw some stuff about Fox dumping the whole Fantastic Four team. The director, the writer, the cast, everything. Is this true? Is Fox starting over again with Fantastic Four?
I don't believe that this is true. I didn't believe it the first time I heard it. Now, it's coming from a source called Bleeding Cool, which is not known as being just a frivolous, throw any rumor out there kind of site. So I'm not saying I don't trust Bleeding Cool. I'm not saying anybody shouldn't trust Bleeding Cool. I'm simply saying I don't know who their source is, and so I choose not to trust their source. Now, another very good site, Screen Crush, followed up with Fox and asked Fox, is any of this true? And a friend of ours, Mike, runs Screen Crush. And they told Mike, not true at all. As a matter of fact, Josh Trank is on location right now, doing more location scouting. None of this is true. I just don't believe it, because more and more news has been coming out about Fantastic Four. They've been progressing. If Fox at any time was so concerned about this Fantastic Four, they were so concerned that they're actually thinking about pulling the plug, I think some brakes would have been put on a little bit earlier. Like, if they weren't canceling, they would say, whoa, we've got some doubts. Let's put the brakes on for now. But no, we see new announcements, new things. The casting just kind of got wrapped up. I just can't see them doing that at this point. Look, I'll say this too. When the rumors first came out about maybe Fox is pulling the plug on the Fantastic Four, I was surprised about how many people online started celebrating it. And when it came out that it's probably not true, people lamenting it and being thinking, look, everybody knows I'm not crazy. I don't want the Fantastic Four babies. I don't want the young version. I want the epitome of the Fantastic Four, the quintessential Fantastic Four, the classic Fantastic Four. Late 30s, early 40s, Reed Richard and Ben Grimm. Early 30s, Sue Storm with your younger brother. That's the Fantastic Four I want. But okay, we're not getting that. Fine. Then what are we left with as film fans? What can we ask of a studio in giving us a Fantastic Four movie? Well, we want them to give us a good director, give us a good writer, and give us a talented cast. That is all we can ask for as film fans. And I gotta say, I'm a little surprised by the amount of people really wanting this news to be true, that Fox has pulled the plug on this Fantastic Four. Because what has Fox given us with this Fantastic Four? They've given us a very good director, they've given us a very good screenwriter, and they've given us, even though I don't want the younger ones, they've given it to us, they've given us a very talented cast that directors around Hollywood are lining up and begging to work with in Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan. If you watch House of Cards, you know how good Kate Mara is. They've done all that they could possibly do. They've given us everything they could possibly give us. Good writer, good director, good cast. Now let's wait and see how it turns out. Am I happy about Fantastic Four babies? No, but it is what it is. I just have to swallow that and get over it. But in every other way, Fox has given us all they could possibly give us. So I'm a little shocked about how negative the reaction to this has been. But anyway, Dennis, you heard these rumors. You've seen the reaction to them. Your thoughts on the rumor itself and the reactions?
Well, with the rumor, I'm tending to side with it not being true, even though I don't know, like, Bleeding Cool's source versus Screen Crush's source, who has the better source, because Fox themselves haven't actually come out and denied the rumors.
They did to Screen Crush. They said none of this is true.
I think it was a source, if I read it correctly. It was like a source from Fox. I don't think it was Fox themselves that said anything.
Okay, well, they spoke on the record, whatever it was. Either way.
Yeah,
right.
So but I tend to not believe the rumor just because the timing of it. You just announced the cast.
Yeah.
Right? So if you just announced the cast, why would you pull the plug now? You pulled the plug before. So I think they're going to go ahead with this. And like you said, it's not the ideal Fantastic Four that we all wanted, but I'm going to keep an open mind about it.
All right, what's next?
Andreka Serbin writes, "Hey guys, absolutely love your show. Watching y'all all the way from Romania. Keep up the good work and I'll keep on watching. Deal?"
Deal.
My question is about Need for Speed. Personally, I love the movie. I was shocked by how much I enjoyed it. It beat every F&F movie in my book. So I was very saddened to see it get kind of slammed by critics all over. Couple this with the fact that it had some decent box office numbers, but nothing to write home about. Do you think there's any chance of us seeing a sequel? P.S. Fun fact, in Romanian, the full title is actually Need for Speed Beginnings.
That's interesting, actually, that they call it Need for Speed Beginnings in the country. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm surprised by two things. Number one, like everybody else, when I saw that they were doing a Need for Speed movie, I thought, oh, please, really? And then I watched it, and I was really surprised by how much I liked it. I thought it was really fun. Look, I still say that Need for Speed is not as good as Fast and the Furious 5 and not as good as Fast and the Furious 6, but I believe it's better than Fast and Furious 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it's also a very different kind of movie. It's got cooler cars in it. I thought it was just, it had a very light, nice, fun tone. I enjoyed it a great deal. My top 10 movies of the year? Nah, but I liked it a lot. And I remember coming out of the premiere, and the buzz was all pretty damn good. I was a little surprised to see, I think it's got like only 1 out of every 4 critics liked it. I think it's got like a 25% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which I think I'm a little surprised by. Usually I'm pretty good at guessing what other critics will think about it, and I really thought this movie was going to hover around a 55% rating, because I knew it wasn't for everybody. I was surprised by how lowly it rated. I was surprised by the 25% rating, because I liked this film, and I thought a lot of others would like it too. Apparently not as much. Did okay on the opening weekend box office. I think made about $18 million opening weekend, but that's not enough. So everything combined, from the critic reaction to the fact that it didn't quite make enough to justify a sequel, I don't think we're going to see one. Dennis?
I'm not sure if we're going to see one. I would tend to say no, but I think there is a possibility, just because it did okay in the foreign market. It made more money. I think it's around 63 million worldwide with a budget of 66. Still got some weeks to go.
Yeah.
Maybe if they can at least make back their money, they might look at, because even though the critics didn't like it, I myself enjoyed it, even though I understand the criticisms. I actually wasn't that surprised by the negative reaction to it, and the criticisms are actually valid. However, the audience reaction to it, if you look on IMDb or on Rotten Tomatoes, it's all relatively positive. I think it's like 60-something% on Rotten Tomatoes, the audience rating, not the critic rating. And on IMDb, it was like a 7.2. So the audience themselves enjoyed it. So the studio might look at that and say, hey, they actually liked it. Maybe the second one will be more fruitful for them. I
think if they hit like 120 million worldwide, it's a possibility. I just don't see it getting to that number, though. All right, folks, listen, we're all out of our questions, but now we're going to take a few live questions from you guys in the Twitter stream. So once again, if you got a question you want to ask, you can tweet right now to @AMC Movie News. Tweet those in. Now, I'm going to just address one question first, because a lot of people have been asking me, like a ridiculous amount of people, John, what's with the clothes? I've been wearing the sports jackets lately and the shirts. A true story. Recently, my mother-in-law, who is Filipino, and speaks in extremely broken English. Her and my father-in-law both speak in really, really broken English. So I don't have a lot of in-depth conversations with them, but I love them both. Apparently, my mother-in-law finally saw a few episodes of AMC Movie Talk. My mother-in-law, actually, I'm not kidding, I'm not joking. My mother-in-law has thought I was unemployed for the last 4 or 5 years, because she doesn't get this whole idea about working on the internet. What? Haha, that's a joke. Anyway, so she finally watched a couple of episodes of AMC Movie Talk, and then had a conversation with my wife, Anne. And she expressed, and she really likes the show, but then she asked this. In her broken English, she said to my wife, "Why John dress like hobo?" And then, and when telling me that story, she also mentioned something that she didn't mention to me before, which is when we were visiting my home in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada over Christmas, both my mother and my 2 sisters took my wife aside separately, and both asked her, "Why do you let John dress like that?" So, to appease the mothers, and guys, you all know you have to appease the moms, I have decided for the next while, I'm going to be dressing in a certain way that will make my mom and my mother-in-law both happy. So that's why you've seen the sudden change of things. Look, it's all about keeping it real, and there's nothing more real than keeping the moms happy. So that's why you see me wearing this ridiculous outfit. So thanks for asking. Anyway, what do we got in the Twitter stream, Ashley?
That was great. Dustin Shell writes, what was your favorite sport-based movie and your favorite animated movie?
My favorite, favorite sports-based movie, I wish I had more time to think about this. Off the top of my head, I've got 2 come to the top of my head. The Eric Roberts Best of the Best. I love the original Best of the Best. James Earl Jones is in that. It's the one about the USA Taekwondo team, and they got to fight the Korean Taekwondo team. It's actually, and Daehan, and it's one of those guy movies where you're watching and you go, yeah! Anyway, so I love that one. But the other one is one that I talk about once in a while. Next to nobody's ever seen. It's called Mystery Alaska, with Russell Crowe. Mike Myers does a really cool cameo. It's about this tiny little town in Alaska that just loves hockey. and it is honestly one of the best sports movies I have ever seen. I wish more people would see it. Best animated, I go back and forth on this a lot. Sometimes Beauty and the Beast, sometimes, quite often it's Lion King, sometimes it's Toy Story 2. There's too many great ones to say off the top of my head. Dennis, what about you? Sports movie?
Oh, this is tough. These questions are always hard to answer on the fly because you have to really, really think about it. I mean, off the top of my head, I mean, sports movies that I really liked. I mean, I guess Warrior, you know, if you can.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
MMA,
yeah, Warrior's
Warrior,
great.
Miracle.
Miracle's good.
And Major League. Even though I'm not a huge baseball fan.
I'm not a big baseball fan at all, but I like Major League 2 even more. I like them both.
But it was hilarious. Animated movies, yeah, it's tough to say. I mean, you know, if I'm thinking just like Pixar movies, Ratatouille's up there for me.
Yeah, Ratatouille, Up, Wall-E. Yeah.
It's that one's
so
tough.
many, yeah. All right, what's next?
Keel Hayner writes, "Hey guys, love the show. I was wondering if there was any more news about the reboot of Dirty Dancing. Thanks."
No. No, honestly, that first report came out, I can't even remember how long ago. And to be honest, for all I know, it's in production right now, and things are moving ahead smooth. I honestly, I just don't know. I have not heard a thing about it, nor have I really looked into it. Dennis, have you heard anything?
No, but I don't know. What was the box office numbers on Flashdance when they did that reboot? Did that do okay?
I don't even remember them doing a Flashdance reboot.
Was it Flashdance or?
No, I don't think it was
Footloose.
Footloose, right? They did a Footloose. I think it was okay. I don't think it did great.
Yeah.
Much like the movie, it was okay. It wasn't great or anything. All right, what's next?
Zach Attack writes, question, Pan and Ant-Man are opening on the same day. What do you think will win the box office? What will you see first?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't like a Captain America 3 versus Batman versus Superman. These are two different films. But you gotta assume Ant-Man, the Marvel film, is probably going to be, I mean, it's got big star power, but then again, so does Pan. Pan has some huge star power attached to it, including Hugh Jackman, of course, playing Blackbeard. But I'm going to say safely. I think it's going to be a safe win for Ant-Man. Which one do I go see first? I go see Ant-Man first. I go see Ant-Man. Even though I'm dying to see this Pan movie, sounds incredible to me. I'm really looking forward to it. I think they're both going to do well, but I think Ant-Man will probably win it.
I'm pretty sure Ant-Man's going to win the box office. I want to see Ant-Man first. Nothing against Pan, but Pan is one of those stories, kind of like Alice in Wonderland and a few others, that we always see every few years. And I think there's another Peter Pan movie being made at the same time. And so, yeah, I think people get tired of the same story, and they're going to go for Ant-Man.
All right, what's next?
William Parcell writes, with Incredibles 2 on the way, do you think we could see an animated superhero film universe?
No, I don't. I think it's a possible, absolutely. And would there be benefit to that and some upside to that? Absolutely. I'm not addressing the question of should they do one. I'm addressing the question, do I think they'll do one? I don't think so. I think the animated superhero one, especially the established superheroes, you know, everything we know in the DC universe, the Marvel universe, I think that's always going to be live action, big screen. I think they may keep animated stuff relegated to the direct-to-home video stuff. I just don't see that changing. Now, Big Hero 6 could change that, but we just don't know enough about it right now, or really how people are going to react to it to really give a guess. So right now, my guess is no, we're not going to see an animated superhero universe.
I'm going to go opposite of you. I think that we eventually will see a animated on the big screen, but not anytime soon. I think maybe like 10, 15 years down the line, they're going to be like, all right, let's get even the big ones and just do like maybe even like a Lego movie style thing. Just throw them all in there.
It's pretty big mess. Yeah, why not? All right, let's take one more.
All right, Raymond G writes, what do you guys think of the Zorro reboot?
Which Zorro reboot?
He's talking about the Antonio Banderas one?
Or is he talking about a new one? Okay, let's assume for a second you're talking about Antonio Banderas. I like it. Anything with Anthony Hopkins in it, you got me, and Catherine Zeta-Jones at the height of her hotness, and it was fun. It wasn't great all-time classic, but it was fun. It was a nice kind of passing of the mantle kind of movie. Whereas, you know, Anthony Hopkins was the original Zorro, and then he passed on the mask, if you will, to Antonio Banderas. It was a fun little movie. If you're talking about another reboot, I don't know anything about it.
I enjoyed the first, was it Mask of Zorro? with
Yes,
Antonio,
that's what it was called, yeah.
Antonio Banderas. Yeah, Catherine Zeta, that made her career. She came out on that movie, and everyone was like, who is this gorgeous woman?
Yeah.
And then her career took off from there. The sequel, though, I did not care for. They had that sequel to the reboot, and
I don't remember that one.
yeah, I forgot what it was called. It was called something else, but I didn't care for that.
All right, folks, well, that'll do it for us for today. Thank you so much for joining us here on AMC Movie Talk. Once again, here every day, Monday through Friday, and of course, our AMC mailbag shows on the weekend. Listen, don't forget, lots of great films playing in AMC theaters right now. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for your theater, showtime, and movie ticket information. Look, if you want an audio-only podcast of this show, look in the description of this video a little bit later, and you'll find links to our iTunes and our Stitcher Radio so you can listen to us on the way to work. And listen, most importantly, click that thumbs up button on the video, and if you haven't done so already, click subscribe, become a subscriber to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. Oh, I believe, let me just double check here. I'm going to double check here something live on air. I shouldn't do this live on air, but I'm going to do it live on air. I believe, since we've started this, yes, we have officially crossed 150,000 subscribers.
Yes.
So thank you guys for all your support. So go ahead and subscribe. I want to thank, first of all, the guy sitting at the table with me, the production manager of AMC Movie News, Mr. Dennis Zen. Dennis, where can people find you online?
You guys can find me on Twitter @ThinkHero and on YouTube, ThinkHeroPro.
And of course, our lovely host today, Ashley Mova. Ashley, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter @AshleyMova. Happy Taco Tuesday, guys. I hope you eat lots of tacos tonight.
And the tacos sound delicious. You can find me on the various social media networks just @JohnCampia. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. My name's John Campia for AMC Movie News, and until next time, bye-bye.
If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to AMC Movie News on YouTube. It's free and a great way to stay updated with all the latest movie news and check out our daily show, AMC Movie Talk. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter to stay in the loop for our special prizes, giveaways, and contests.